So you have your mic, you're ready to record the audio for your podcast. The big question I have for you is, what sample frequency are you going to use? The easy answer is 44.1K for audio without video and 48K for audio with video. This is an easy answer for a lot of folks who've messed around with audio. However, many of you are probably asking yourself, what the heck is sample frequency? Let me break down the concept of modern digital recording for you. You probably learned at some point in your life that moving pictures are actually still images played back to back so fast they create the illusion of movement. We all had like a flip book of some kind or another when we were kids. The number of still images in a video that create this illusion is called the video's frame rate. We say things like, that video is playing at 24 frames per second, meaning there are 24 still images evenly spaced across a second, playing back for us to perceive the elements of video as moving. Our sound senses, our hearing, is way more finicky than our eyes. We perceive air moving in waves as sound. Those waves have to move in cycles. The back and forth motion of a wave is what a cycle is. And in order for us to even hear that wave, it needs to be rippling at 20 cycles per second. If something is moving at 20 cycles per second, it is very, very low. So low, in fact, that you need a pretty good speaker to reproduce it. You probably wouldn't even be able to hear it if I played it right now. And I'm not gonna, because speakers can get damaged from trying to play stuff that low back. The highest sound the human ear can hear is about 20,000 cycles per second. I will admit that's pretty high. So high, in fact, that most adults can't hear it. By the way, the guy who was credited with figuring all this out, his name was Hendrik Hertz. And we say that if a wave is cycling at 200 cycles per second, we call it 200 hertz, or Hz for short. We record sound in the digital domain very similarly to how we record video. It doesn't work this way on analog tape, so I'm not going to bore you with that explanation. But in the computer, we take snapshots of the waves perceived by the microphone. In order to do this effectively, we need to make at least 2 snapshots of a given wave when it's at its trough, its lowest point, and its zenith, its highest point. In order to catch a pic of a wave cycling at 20,000 cycles per second, that would require 40,000 snapshots. Then the question becomes, what if your recorder happens to be a little off and it only records the parts of the wave in the middle, known as zero crossing? You would effectively record nothing. So the minimum frame rate for recorded sound is 44,100 snapshots, called samples, per second. This is the standard sample frequency for music recording or audio without video. However, the standard sample frequency for film and video is 48,000 samples per second, usually called 48K recording. One of the big mistakes people make is that their audio equipment defaults to 44.1K, but they need to record at 48K. Sometimes converting from 44.1 to 48 is totally fine, and sometimes it creates audio errors that sound like little ticks or pops in the audio. The big thing I'm trying to communicate here is that you need to make sure you're recording at a sample frequency that will work for your final product. Downsampling when the original recording has at least 2 times as many frames as the destination will always work. So a lot of pros record at 96K. That way they can use it for audio or video without any trouble by down-resing to either 44.1K or 48K as needed.